In order to set up your part that you've created to work with tool pathing and set it up in CAM, we have to do a few things to prepare our the part that we've created. So one, you need to be able to select a feature on the X, Y, and Z axes so that you can set up where the machine knows. Now this one will be okay because I can select that edge for my Z axis, I could select that edge for my X, and that one for my Y. However, if you do not have those features, if everything that you've created is rounded and not straight perpendicular edges, there is a little bit of a trick that you can do. You can go to Start Sketch, create a sketch on top of your part, and what you'll do is just select a construction line and create two construction lines. So there's one working in the X-axis, and then one working on the Y-axis. And click OK. Since that's a construction line, that won't affect your geometry at all. It's just something that you can select. Our next step is going to go over to our CAM tab, and before we can do any tool pathing, we have to set up so that the machine knows what size stock we're starting with. So what is the starting size of the material that this will be cut from? Because obviously we're going to have to cut the inside of this object as well as cut out the profile around our circle. So once we're in the CAM tab, we're going to go ahead and hit our setup button. And the setup button is going to try and automatically set up some stock points for us. We want to modify these a little bit so that they work with our machines. So the point that we're going to select is going to be the top button here of the bottom left corner. And you can see our directions are all messed up. So we have to change what directions our model is working with there on our coordinate system. So I like to select the Z-axis and the X-axis. So in order to select the Z-axis, I just have to select, click the button next to Z-axis, and then find something that's moving in the direction of Z. Okay, so there it goes there, and it selected it correctly, but it put it backwards, put it down. So what you do is flip the Z-axis, and then in this case, the X and Y-axis settled themselves out correctly. So if they didn't, when you would go, you would select your X-axis, and you could come up here and you could select either something running in the X direction on your machine or on your part that you've created, or you can select this construction line that was on the X-axis. Either way, you want it working like this so that the machine knows that this is the bottom left corner and it's going to work around correctly there. Okay. In the next tab here, what we're going to do is go ahead and select our stock. Now as a default, what it's going to try and do is just create the smallest box that it can around your shape. And that will work if you are working with a bare piece of stock. If you are given a stock, like we are for this project, where you have a 6x6, you can change this to a fixed size box. And you could say that this is a 6x6 by ½ inch, that's the thickness. And then you can select where you want your model. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to put it at the center, just so that I have room around the edge of this profile for the tool bit to work around that shape. Okay, so that is how I would do my setup. When you're finished, make sure you hit OK before you start doing any tool pathing. Hit OK, and now the machine knows by that yellow box what size wood we're starting with or material that we're starting with.